Oh, come on, please. No, again. Yeah, every time you turn the camera on, this is what happens. How are we going? We're talking about citrus. Well, we're talking about everything. We're actually talking about hot weather. We had this area cleaned out. How good is that? We had the catnip all cut down and the irises have been left. They're going to wilt away slowly over time, but that's okay. We don't need to cut them right back at the moment. These need a feed. Discoloration. See, because of all the catnip competing against each other and a little bit of water lacking, you can see a little bit of discoloration, a little bit on the lime side, a light green colour, which is not a good thing for the citrus, but these will come good. We just got to put some Eco Boost and liquid gold, they'll be fine. Heat stress, that's heat stress, wind stress, dehydration. Come over here. This is Ligustrum undulatum. It's a box leaf privet. Grows really fast like a weed. You can see how woody it is. I'd let this overgrow too much. So it was really high. Had to cut it right back and we've got a lot of exposed wood on here. But also a couple of days after we pruned it, which the hot weather's gone, it was yesterday, the day before, all the tops here are burnt. Come in here, have a look at this. All this is burnt. All this dead wood here and dead foliage has to come off. You leave all this on your plant, and what you're doing is stopping the new growth from coming through because it's suffocating it. So that's all got to come off. If you've got a hedge and you haven't pruned it, or if you just pruned it and you've got a lot of leaf on it, get rid of it. And if you haven't pruned it, when you do prune it, get rid of it. Don't leave it like that. If it dies off, it's okay. Well, this sort of plant's okay. It's really tough as nails. It'll burst back in no time. It just needs to be fed as well. So whatever you got in your garage shelf there, as far as a liquid fertilizer, or even compost, blood and bone there, Eco Boost, all of that stuff works. Come this way. Come. What are you doing? Hey? What is? This way. Come on. Anyway. Cara. Good girl. All right. This is another area here we've got here with lawn. And what I want to talk about is the dehydration over here. Now you can see the buffalo is a fast growing plant, you know, it spreads quite quickly. It's getting into wherever the moisture is. It's almost got a scent for it. So if there's moisture in the ground, it'll travel to it. We've got irrigation around this circular hedge. It's just on the inside. Irrigation, there's irrigation in here and here. There's no irrigation over this side. That's why it's not growing. There's a little bit of irrigation here, but what we're talking about here in competition is English box and these ornamental pear trees. So we're not getting it. And these branches were actually down here. You'll see that I've actually pruned a lot of the lower branches that were coming out here and shading this area. So we're getting a bit more light in here. What I've got to do is start irrigating that side. Again, sunburn. It's all dehydration. It's only been a couple of days of hot weather. And this was green, be it all weeds or whatever you want to call it, it's already drying out and it's creeping back this way already. Over here, there's irrigation 3 sides, it's nice and moist. And this is the garden bed that's closest to our native trees, which always dehydrates quickly. And we have mulched because I've showed you that in the past, where there was no mulch and it was continuously drying out. But even so, with the hot weather and the hot northerly winds, look at these artichokes. This is what's happening to them. They're drying out like that. It's okay, we've got new growth coming through, but even the new growth from the high winds, sometimes folks, you could be adding all the water you want in the world. Look, it's moist underneath. There's moisture there, it's not dry. The problem is when you've got such strong high winds and they're warm or hot winds, it just burns the leaf. No matter how much water the plant's trying to draw up from the ground, and even if it's hydrated, that leaf will cop a burn. And that's what's happened to some of these artichokes. I'm not worried about these. Even this one here I'm not worried about because I can see that's going to kick on again. And artichokes are tough like that. The others have gone on. Ignore those little lettuce plants there. They're actually going to seed. I'm going to try and harvest the seeds. And that was our little message yesterday. Self-sown plants always perform better than the ones you buy. There's even lettuce, so it's not just about tomatoes, it could be anything. But you know, they've got to acclimatise, and that's what these plants are doing for me. They've acclimatised. That seed will be better next year. So hopefully, not like the artichokes this year that have burned, these will adapt to it, so by next year they'll be even better for me because they live, you know, perennials. Come this way. This garden bed's actually doing well. Basil, you don't want it to go to flower, pinch the flowers off. Take them off straight away so it can start to bush up properly. Just do that to them, that's all it needs. And you get a bit more foliage out of it, otherwise it goes to seed. All this, look at this. I've walked out of here for a day and this stuff has already gone into flower. So just get rid of them like that, and that will save your basil from finishing off. But this is the other sunburn damage that happens. Smells beautiful. Look at this. Look at all this damage. This is another little lettuce leaf, basil, or something similar like that. I've forgotten the exact name of it. But this is wind damage and sunburn. Look at that. This plant, it's moist, it's well hydrated, but the wind damage, it's copped. They're doing okay, they were better. Again, like I said, 38 degrees suddenly from 18. It's 18 now at the moment. It's in the afternoon, the day before we were watching this, if you're watching it when we first uploaded it. But these have gone through hell. So hot, cold, sorrel's fine, silver beet's fine, little leafy plants like this are struggling. So if you see your plants are burning off on the tips of the foliage, you can keep them hydrated, but the worst thing you can do is hydrate it during the heat of the day. Do it early in the morning, late in the afternoon if you can, like now, early in the morning. Give it a good water, otherwise you'll burn the plants, you cause more damage to it. And if it's completely dehydrated, try and hydrate around it. Don't wet the foliage. That will cause more damage to the plant. And things like that, you just got to sit back and just let it run its course. There's not much you can do. Liquid feed them if you want, but not on hot days. No matter what sort of liquid fertilizer you love using, whether it's ours or somebody else's, avoid liquid feeding your plants on a hot day, because all you're going to do is burn them. It's like putting acid on them. Wait for that to cool down, or do it early in the morning, and that way you give the plant the opportunity to grow big and strong. For more information like this, go to our website, sign up to our Facebook, follow us on Facebook, Instagram and our YouTube channel, and we'll be posting more stuff like this every morning for you. And check out our website, vasili'sgarden.com, for great deals and specials for you guys to enjoy. Really stuffed that one up, didn't I? Mercy.